Wanted to give a quick update, show you what I'm doing. I'm dismantling this electrical box and pulling that box and the conduit completely off. And this 4-gang box is gone, so all this is going to get pulled out. But I want to reuse this 4-gang box here and have those 2 duplex receptacles in place of that box there, so I still have a place to hang my whatchamacallit extension cord, that retractable extension cord, and can plug all the shop lights in. Alright, if I did this right, when I turn the light switch on, all the lights should turn on. One of these has a hum to it. It's probably a bulb or a ballast, but there's one spot open. I can actually plug my compressor in. There's also another 4-gang box right down in there that will probably run the tools that I eventually put on this wall when these shelving systems go away. I got the light out, the old conduit and everything gone. So the chimney is going to poke through right here. I'm going to remove this whole square of some sort of junky fiberboard. It's definitely a combustible material, so it needs to go. Right now I'm standing on top of the little wood stove. Not sure what the visibility is like. It's kind of dark up here. Huh. That's interesting. Looks like we got some kind of wood lap siding. So I'm going to go around that square again with that thing and see if I can cut through that. Making some progress. Some more firewood. Looks like there's foam on the outside of this. This gun actually has a setting on the impact for these specific types of screws. Using self-tapping screws, number 6, 1/2 inch, to secure this elbow onto the chimney. This is the upper portion of what I used as a chimney liner. In this part here, I had silicone down to the, I guess you'd call it the brick chimney cap. It worked great for the 2 years that I had it installed, and now what I'm going to do is pull it off and cut it, flatten it out, cut it down to size, and this is going to be the hole, the penetration hole through to the siding out there. Now, when I put this on the old house, I didn't have a large enough piece of diamond plate, and I ended up TIG welding another piece onto here, and just looking at how it held up over the years of all the expansion and contraction, and that's where aluminum welds tend to crack a lot more than a steel weld. But overall, it looks like it came out pretty good. I'm just going to use this bandsaw right here to trim this down. This is much smaller, and this is actually going to go on from the outside. What I'll do is I'll cut a whatever type of hole I can get through here. It'll probably be a square hole, through that siding, and this will tuck up. The top edge of this will tuck up probably right around there, but I'll make a measurement and trim this again, or flip it around to find out which way fits up underneath that siding best to work as flashing. At this point, I've done a little bit of trial and error fitment, trimming and whatnot, and it is time to attach it to This is my old chimney top. I'm just going to go set this on the 90 that's outside and screw it in and make a fire. I almost got started without you. It's time to make a fire. Probably should keep those for shims. Scrap wood goes in, nails and all. So I got my little butterfly valve. I think that's called a damper. This is an air control right there. It's pretty tight around here. So this does have an effect on how well it burns and how fast it burns. Once that draft starts working, what I mean by a draft is that hot air rises and it flows all the way up the chimney, and then there's a vacuum sucking through here, and that'll really get things burning hot. It's been going for about 2 minutes, and I'll just give you a view here. You can see how these flames are getting sucked up around that top plate that I put in there. I did have plans of cutting a hole out of here and figuring out how to put some glass in there. Just thought that would be kind of neat. That might be a future project. A little bit of flames coming out. I'm wondering if that 90-degree turn there is doing something with the flow. Of course, I do have it packed pretty high. Look at that. Better close it before the wood falls out. I'm still leaving it cracked, getting this thing up to temperature. Got this heat shield that I made for it to actually block off the chimney of the old house. I just put it on here for a little extra mass. I stuck that piece of steel. That's actually the leftover scrap steel from building this whole thing. So I stuck that behind there. And I also have my laser, so I can also point it up high up there. Take a reading. We got 109 degrees on that siding there. And then it drops off to 77, 75. Up higher it's probably going to be hotter. There's 85, 80. That aluminum diamond plate will kind of act as a heat sink. What do we got there? I think that's still in the 80s, 70s. There we go. There's 115 right at the bottom there. And the door is 250 degrees right now. Take a reading on this side here. This side is 480 degrees. See that double wall there? That's the ductwork. That's only 100 and something. Take a reading on the back here. It's getting pretty hot in the back there. Not even reading it. I think it tops out at 500. Yeah, it goes for about 450, 530. Getting a good hot fire in here just to test it out, let it run, and then I'll close the door and damp it down a little bit so it lasts a little bit longer. Okay, I'm just gonna shut this door now. Give you a close-up of how that gasket looks. You can see it in there. And I don't see any. Here's a better view of it up top. Don't want to get the GoPro too close. Don't see any air gaps. I've got those holes all wide open. You can see the light coming through. And I do have my damper plate fully vertical. I can slow down the draft that the exhaust escapes by using this little knob here. Just turning this down. Never fully block it off, but I always know that it's perpendicular to this line here. So right now it's going this way, and that's about all I ever do. Just have it pointed right down here, and that will slow the burn rate down and make the fire last longer. I'm sure someone was going to point it out in the comment sections, but I have relocated the gas cans that were close to the fireplace. They're safely, a good 10 feet away over there on the floor. I'll have to find a new home for them. This is putting out some heat. What I think it's going to end up needing is a fan behind it, blowing air across it, just to get more air out into the room. Whew. It's hot. I'll bruise knees tomorrow.